Welcome back to the King's Corner, the place for all things Bethesda. I am the KingFanMan, and today I have a special guest with me. I have DeMarco Dude. DeMarco Dude, how are you doing, sir?
Hello. Hi. How's it going? I'm doing well. How about yourself, King?
I am doing great. I am so happy to have you. It's been a long time. You've actually been on the show before.
Yeah, you were the first collaboration that I ever had.
Really? That is so cool. How long ago was that?
I think I was below 100 subscribers at the time.
Wow.
Starfield. You summoned Dom. I think I was below 100 subscribers at the time. And I reached out to you and I was like, hey, I saw your show. Like, I want to do it. and you, without any I still tell people this all the time. Like, without any hesitation, just said, yeah, come on, let's do it.
Absolutely. And I'm so glad to have you back. In fact, I think, didn't Dom come on at the end of the show and talk to you too? I think he did. Yeah. Because I see James said Starfield. Dom will be here if you do that. Hey, Sexy Daddy Jones, one of my favorite names on YouTube. Good to have you here. And there's my Mississippi Queen. Hey, my queen, how are you doing? Well, we've got a lot to talk about today. We've got a lot of gaming. A lot is happening, and it's not necessarily in Bethesda, but it's kind of Bethesda related. So, man, we've got a lot to talk about today. Y'all are going to be so excited to hear about all that we have to talk about. We are going to talk about DeMarco Dude's channel. So right off the bat, I want you guys to go and subscribe to this man's channel. He has awesome stuff. Right now, you're working on some Avowed stuff, and we're going to talk about that because Obsidian just surprised the world with an awesome trailer at the Xbox showcase. We're going to be talking about Avowed, this game that kind of looks Skyrim-esque or Elder Scrolls-esque. And is that what you're kind of working on right now?
So fantasy's my bread and butter. I love fantasy games. I like my sci-fi, like my post-apocalyptic. But I've been discussing or just drafting as many ideas as I possibly could. Things that are a little bit more original than just saying, here's what we know. Because realistically, what do we know? So I've been trying to talk about, what effect this could have for Obsidian, how it will impact Elder Scrolls, how it might impact Bethesda, all these sorts of things. And as much information about Avowed as I can possibly find, I'll be doing.
Hey, Heath. Hey, Zonder Bunny. Hey, MC Jenkins. Hey, Ian. Hey, James. Hey, Garrett. I got to tell hey, everybody. Hey, River Rat. Hey, all. Hey, guys. Hey, let me pronounce your name right. Ahsoka. Ahsoka. Okay, I was going to get it right. Ahsoka. Okay. I'm going to give you some questions, DeMarco Dude, right off the bat to earn. If you don't get some of these questions right, you don't get subscriptions from these people. No, I'm just teasing. No, we're actually going to talk about Cyberpunk right off the top. I want to ask you what you think. So you don't have to answer any questions. I just want to know what you think about this, okay? Cyberpunk is coming out November the 19th, 2020. So it's going to be here before we know it.
Yeah.
But there's been some news. Number one, it's going to be only in first person. In other words, you can't play in third person. You can only play in first person. What do you think about that? Is that a drawback? Is that a bad thing?
I think that is the vision the game wanted to do. And if it fits the narrative, if it fits the gameplay, which from what we've seen and from everything we've heard about Cyberpunk, that is exactly what they're going for. So if this helps increase immersion, if this helps increase their story, then it's absolutely the right decision. I know a lot of people like to play Bethesda games in third person. I'm not one of them, so for me personally, not a big deal.
See, that's me too. I play in first person, but I know a lot of people that play in third person. So, I mean, is this going to be a game changer for those people? I really wonder about that. But a lot of the people that I know that play in third person originally played in first person and actually had to learn how to play in third person. So I don't know. Another one is I just heard this week. They just announced this week there is not going to be dual wielding in Cyberpunk. So it's
Not
only
buying it.
Yeah.
It's over. 2 out of 10.
So
don't play Cyberpunk.
So there's another want on Cyberpunk.
No. I think that again, Cyberpunk. There's so many other things that you can do in it, right? With all the gadgets and all the weapons, that will having dual wielding add to the experience? It's one of those things, like, for example, boats in Elder Scrolls. Everyone's saying boats is coming to Elder Scrolls, right? Will that add to Elder Scrolls? I don't know. So
that's a big mechanic, though. I mean, that's something on your character, something that goes with you all the time. I mean, that's kind of like a first person, third person thing. That's a big deal, and that's a big deal to a lot of people.
Yeah, absolutely. We'll have to see. I think most people who are excited about Cyberpunk, you can definitely say these are things that they would overlook, but nothing. I don't think one aspect of Cyberpunk, I've not seen anybody yet, maybe you've seen differently, someone say, no, I'm not buying it because...
Oh, exactly.
Or, I can't dual wield, get out of here.
Yeah, that's it. It's over. And of course, also, hey, Vault Girl, thank you for being here. Vault Girl, would you mind putting DeMarco Dude's link up on the screen? And everybody, please subscribe to DeMarco Dude if you have not, because he is our guest host today. Also, and you've probably heard this, multiplayer will not come to Cyberpunk until 2022.
Oh, that was a harsh one.
Yeah. 2022. Now, the game is coming out this November 2020. So for 2 years, it's going to take 2 years before it's getting multiplayer.
With a game like Cyberpunk, there's going to be so much to do. There's going to be many things to explore that the campaign will take people 2 years to do anyway. I mean,
Garrett says if they don't delay it again.
Yeah, that's the other thing. Let them focus on the single player. You know that you can see how passionate, how badly they want to get this right.
Yeah.
And the multiplayer will sort of
be Slacker.
Wow. Hello everybody. How's it going? The multiplayer will sort of be that thing that once everyone has finished the campaign, they'll come back and try it again, you know?
Yeah, I hope so. I can't remember how long did it take Red Dead Redemption to get their multiplayer up? Wasn't it? It wasn't near 2 years, but it wasn't even a year, was it?
I think it was underneath a year, but that was following the success of GTA Online. So they knew that and we all know how much money GTA Online makes. So they knew that this is something they wanted to get out the door sooner rather than later.
Exactly. Well, those are just a few of the negatives for Cyberpunk, but Cyberpunk has a huge list of positives for it. But again, those are just a few of the negatives. Now, here's another game that is doing amazing right now, if I can pronounce it right. The Ghost of Tsushima. Did I pronounce it right? Woo! First try. It actually passed 2.4 million sales in 3 days, breaking Sony's all-time record. Woo! In fact, it is the PS4's fastest-selling first-party debut. So that is amazing. Have you played this game? Do you know anything about this game?
I know a lot about it. There's a lot of things I really like about the game. I have not bought it yet.
I haven't either. What can you tell us about the game? Because I really don't know much about it.
One thing that I think has floored, aside from the visual fidelity, is that the game has a very, very well done attention to detail. So certain things, and I've actually talked about this before, that I really do like, that enemies will actually start trying to, if they're severely wounded, they'll start crawling away from you, or
Oh, cool.
that the way that you engage in combat is very, very, you can really customize your play style with all of the trinkets that you can collect. I forgot what specifically they call them for Ghost of Tsushima, but you can, combine different weapons like kunai, smoke bombs, sticky bombs, and then of course you have your horse that you can ride. I've seen people do some really cool things where they leap off the horse, throw a smoke bomb down, and then proceed to just execute, a patrol of Mongols that are walking through. So it's a very refined, polished, and beautiful looking experience.
Well, it is doing amazing. As I said, it is breaking all kinds of records with Sony. So I just had to mention it. So that is amazing. Well, let's go to the main subject today, which is Avowed. Obsidian just blew us all away with Avowed. Well, I'm just going to turn it over to you, DeMarco, dude, since you are the Elder Scrolls man. Yes.
That's putting me on a pedestal with Juicehead.
Yeah, you are the Elder Scrolls man. So, what did you think of Avowed? We have this trailer from Obsidian. Of course, they are the I will set Obsidian up on a pedestal. They are the RPG people, because I believe they do RPGs probably better than anyone. As far as now, let me qualify that. As far as the choices and that kind of thing, the branching storylines and that kind of thing, because I played the Outer Worlds and it had some deficiencies. Okay, we'll get into that in a minute, because the Outer Worlds actually released a DLC or announced a DLC, and we'll talk about that in a minute as well. But Obsidian has a masterful way of writing. Maybe that's a better way of saying it. They're wonderful writers in RPGs. So I believe what we can expect with this game is masterful writing and wonderful choices. That's what I'm looking forward to in this game. But it also looked amazing as well. What did you see with this trailer?
I saw something that has so much potential. And one of the things, this is something Juice had pointed out, which was obviously, we know that it takes place in Eora or Aora. I'm not sure how it's pronounced, but it's the Pillars of Eternity world, right? And there's such a interesting comparison to be made about when Bethesda took over Fallout and they turned it into a open world, a 3D open world. And now you have this Pillars of Eternity universe, and it opened it to such a wider audience. Most Fallout players have either not played the originals, or they've tried it and it wasn't for. I'd say that would be the majority of current Fallout fans. So now you have Pillars of Eternity, which I have DM'd for Dungeons and Dragons in the past, and I use Pillars of Eternity quests as inspiration because, Nash, as you just said, their writing is phenomenal. It's exquisite. So you have this world with fantastic writers. They could take all of that existing lore and they could make it accessible to someone who wouldn't play Pillars of Eternity, that old school style RPG. And of course, you do get to attract the Elder Scrolls fans. You do get to attract the Witcher fans. You do get to bring in all of these people, Dragon Age as well. So all around, I think Obsidian is hitting all of the right notes between the Outer Worlds and now Avowed. Obsidian is killing it, and there's so much potential. The one more thing that I need to point out, though, is we do need to move away from this vision. I think a lot of people have this idea that Obsidian is a baby Bethesda, or that Obsidian is living in Bethesda's shadow. That's not the case. They're their own thing. They're their own entity.
Mm-hmm.
They exist independently. They're two different studios, and there's no hierarchy between the two. They're each unique and wonderful in different ways.
I absolutely agree with you 100%. And I wished every time Obsidian brings something out, they would quit going, this will be the death of Bethesda.
Oh my gosh.
I hate that.
Outer Worlds wasn't the death of Bethesda.
No.
Avowed won't be the death.
Thank you so much.
No.
Thank you for the super chat. Love the content, man. Thank you. That's awesome. Love it. Robo, is that how you pronounce it? That's awesome. Thank you so much. I think I wished we could get to where we could be fans of both. I am a fan of Bethesda and I am a fan of Obsidian, and I always will be. That's just the way it is. I love Fallout New Vegas, and I love Fallout 3, Fallout 4, and Fallout 76. I love Obsidian and I love Bethesda. Why can't we be fans of both?
I like that there's an analogy I was thinking of earlier, which is that Obsidian and Bethesda, they're like grown adults. They can have different things, and they can even hate each other, which isn't true. That's important to specify. They do not hate one another, which a lot of people seem to think there's some rivalry there. There isn't. But even if they did, they can coexist. They can be mature adults and just tolerate one another. Like, everything that they do doesn't need to be gunning for the other studio.
Yeah. Jeremy makes a good point. He says Obsidian hasn't mastered huge open worlds yet. And he's basing that on, and that's what I wanted to get into. He's basing that on, of course, their last game, which did have some deficiencies. And let's talk about that. A lot of people went into Obsidian's last game thinking, and you remember, this is going to be the death of Bethesda, and boy, that talk,
Starfield's screwed.
Yeah, that talk died down really, really quick, because they saw, even though it was a great game, they saw real quick, this is not a Bethesda game. It does not have the huge open world. It's just not. It just fell short of a huge open world Bethesda game. And would you agree with that?
Absolutely. I think the comparisons, and this is what I'm sort of worried about with Avowed as well. It does make me nervous. I think the comparisons between the Outer Worlds and Starfield hurt the game more than it helped.
Yes. Obsidian does what it does good, and Bethesda does what it does good. And this, I'm just going to go off on a rant here for a minute.
Sure.
I believe that's why Fallout New Vegas was as good as it was. It was the perfect marriage of Bethesda and Obsidian, because you had the open worlds of Bethesda, because of Obsidian got to use Bethesda stuff, and Obsidian got to do their thing with all their writing and their branching dialogues and all that stuff. So it was the perfect marriage of both worlds, and we're never going to get that ever again.
It hurts. Don't say that.
But that's what it was. And everybody thought Obsidian's game, their next game, was going to be New Vegas, but it's not, because you don't have Bethesda's world. You've got Obsidian's world, and it's just not going to be like Bethesda's world. It's just not going to be. Now, I will say this. Do you think there's going to be a little bit of a difference now that Obsidian is fully in with Microsoft, with a little bit more funds at their disposal?
Oh, absolutely. Now you have. Do you remember there was one thing where someone said that this is Obsidian's ideal game. Do you remember if they said that about the Outer Worlds? Like, this is the game they've always wanted to make.
Yes.
They did say that about Outer Worlds.
Yes.
Okay, so then it's important in that regard. I think it's important to make sure that we don't get too caught up in the marketing and the PR speak. But I absolutely, to answer your question, I think that the funding of Microsoft, and especially because it's an exclusive, Microsoft is going to prioritize this title to be something bigger than that's ever been done, and it's just as much of an important investment for Microsoft as it is for Obsidian to get right.
I agree. I absolutely agree. Hey, Kaiser, what's going on? Remember when I said that we should stop comparing stuff? Yes, absolutely. I absolutely agree because they're different. They do different things. They absolutely do different things. When you look at the Outer Worlds, it doesn't have the big open world that Bethesda does, but it has, let's just say it, it's got a great story. It has a lot more choices than Bethesda games does. It's just it's just a different kind of game. It's just a different kind of game than a Bethesda game is. Don't go into an Obsidian game thinking it's going to be a Bethesda game. And I think that's what you were saying. It hurts the game when you compare it. If people go into Avowed thinking it's going to be Skyrim, it's going to hurt Avowed.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and the funny thing too about that is when Obsidian has quite literally said in the past, like the CEO Fergus Urquhart, I don't know how to pronounce the last name. He said that we're not chasing the same cash. I think is what he said. We're not fighting for the same dollars. Right. Is what he said.
Absolutely.
So the other thing too is that whether or not Obsidian is trying to reposition themselves, like you said, with the more money, will they target the huge open world, or will they keep it to what the Outer Worlds was? And how much will they transition what their focus is? We don't know.
Right. But like I was saying, now of course there's all kinds of things they can do in the trailer, but the Outer Worlds was made when Obsidian was still on their own, coming into Microsoft. And like I was asking you just a minute ago, this game is being made while Obsidian is now within Microsoft. So they've got a lot more money behind them now.
Oh, yeah.
So they should be able to make a better game, a bigger game, don't you think? Than what Outer Worlds was. I'm just thinking here. I'm just I would think they could make almost, because boy, I'm going to get in trouble for this. The Outer Worlds was almost, no, I don't even want to say it.
No, go. Come on. You're halfway there.
You know how you have a AAA game that it was almost sliding out of that AAA game, and I know some people are going to go, "What?" But I think now with the money of Microsoft, they're going to hit it out of the ballpark. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Oh, for sure. One of my biggest complaints with the Outer Worlds was that it simply lacked a level of polish that you'd want from a game like that. It felt, you know how a lot of times
that's what with
new IPs, they just feel a little bit clunky. You go back and play Dragon Age 1, it feels a little, Outer Worlds feels a bit stiff, it's rigid. And now that they do have the additional backing, they can say, okay, let's take the additional time that we need to make sure that our first-person combat has a lot of physics to it, that when you hit someone, you feel like you're striking them with your sword or smacking them with your spells. Something that even Elder Scrolls needs to work on too. But
oh, absolutely. Do you think that could have been a lack of money, though?
Yes. Oh, for sure.
I do too. I really do too. And I'm really anxious to see when we get to gameplay with Avowed if there's a major difference between the Outer Worlds and Avowed. I really want to see that. Yeah. Jeremy says, unless they have time restraints put on them. Yep, that's a big thing too with gaming too. Yeah, it's either money or time constraints. Yep, and of course we saw that with what Fallout 76 time constraints. That can really do it as well. Well, we're not done with Avowed yet, but let's jump ahead since we're talking about the Outer Worlds. Again, at this same conference, the Outer Worlds mentioned that they have a DLC which is called Peril on Gorgon. Is that what it's called? Peril on Gorgon? Yeah, Gorgon, which is another planet. And it looked really good. In fact, it looked a little bit, maybe a little bit more polished than the original, a little exciting. What did you think about it?
I think that Peril on Gorgon will be what Far Harbor was to Fallout 4, in that it takes the strengths of the game, isolates those, and expands on every single one of them.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, I still have to finish the Outer Worlds, though. I haven't completed the game yet.
I got to tell you what I'm going to do with it, but we're going to go back to Cyberpunk for just a minute because we got a super chat talking about it. Thank you so much for the super chat. We actually started with Cyberpunk, but we're going to go back to it for just a minute, just for you, because you gave us an awesome $5 super chat. So I think that's worth going back to Cyberpunk for just a minute. I want to ask you, DeMarco, dude, what are you most excited for about Cyberpunk? Can you change your mind just for a minute and go back to Cyberpunk? There are so many things about Cyberpunk that are exciting, and it's coming this November. And by the way, I have already pre-ordered Cyberpunk, so I'm already ready for it.
I think that's the hardest question you've asked me.
I know it.
I think I'm most excited. What am I? Oh man! Oh, don't do this to me.
It's a very general question too. So.
I think I'm most excited to see the world, because one thing that CD Projekt Red has.
No, you don't worry about it.
World building.
Yep.
And The Witcher was done phenomenally. I loved everything about it, and I loved learning more about it. And Cyberpunk is the same, with an entirely different genre, a genre that is incredibly underrated and is now getting a lot of attention. So,
see, you're stealing mine. I can't wait to see how the people interact with each other in the world. I am going to just go and walk around and watch people and see how they interact in the world. I really want to see that.
It was incredible.
Yeah. And speaking of, we'll say it real soft so Dom don't come in here. Speaking of Starfield, I hope Starfield, if you get to be around people or aliens or whatever, I really hope Bethesda starts making their worlds that interactive, because I love how CD Projekt Red makes their worlds so interactive. I think that puts them a step ahead. It's just so wonderful. So,
do you think they will in Starfield? If you had to put money on it, do you think that's what they're going to focus on next?
Well, it's according to what kind of game Starfield is going to be. You wonder. Well, that just opens up a whole new thing. That's going to be on the Starfield podcast. Back to the Outer Worlds and this new DLC. You talked about needing to finish the Outer Worlds. I am almost finished, but I laughed at you when you said you had to finish. I actually didn't finish the Outer Worlds either, which is kind of funny, but that also goes to an Obsidian game. Obsidian games are really hard to finish because they go in 5,000 directions, and it takes forever to finish them, number one. And there's so many choices you can do. And that really is a compliment to an Obsidian game as well. And I am at a point in the game where I don't want to choose. Do you ever get that way in a game?
Yeah, yeah, 100%.
And I cannot say I've ever been there in a Bethesda game. I got there in New Vegas. I'm there in the Outer Worlds, but I've never been there in a Bethesda game. But Obsidian does it to me every time where I do not want to choose. It's like, nope, I don't want to choose. I don't want to choose. But they do it to me every time. So that's why I stopped and went back to Fallout 76, because it was like, nope, not going to choose. So yeah, they push me into that every time. But yeah, I have to finish now to go back to the DLC, but I'm excited to finish it. It was a good game, and I had fun. I would like to know how many of you have played the Outer Worlds and enjoyed the Outer Worlds. How many of you are going to get the DLC and play it? And also, how many of you are going to get Avowed and are excited about Avowed? You know, it's going to be, goodness, what do you think? 2024, 2025 till we get Elder Scrolls 6?
It's 2024 minimum.
Yeah.
Minimum.
Yeah. So if you want to play something like it, Avowed is going to be your first choice or your first chance. So are you going to play it? Heath said he started playing the Outer Worlds, didn't finish it. We'll go. How many? I've talked to so many. That's not good for the game that so many started it and didn't finish it. But I've talked to so many that did that. Yeah, go ahead.
I can make a horrible confession.
Mm-hmm.
And as Elder Scrolls is what most of my particular audience follows me for, I have never finished the main quest line in Skyrim. I have never finished it. And
there's another one that didn't finish Outer Worlds. Hey, Lynn.
So I am the epitome of being horrible at finishing games. Just every single thing, especially when I get an open world game like the Outer Worlds. Like
MCG gets unsubscribed from you for that. You better go finish it. There's 2 that unsubscribed. They're teasing, I'm sure.
Jenkins is a mod in my Discord, so I'm just gonna have to, undo that.
Yeah, undo that modding. Oh, that's funny.
I start playing, I enjoy it, and I just make new characters, and I constantly make new characters, and I swear there's something wrong with me. I can't stop. It's like my strange addiction. I just don't.
I do that in Bethesda games so bad. I make new characters, and I did that in Fallout 4 over and over and over and over, making new characters, because I think, now I know how to do it better. Oh, now I know how to do it better. Now I know how to do it better. Yeah, I would do that in Fallout 4 over and over and over and over. And I did it in Skyrim too. Yeah, I did. But I did finish Skyrim. So,
so you're ahead of me.
Yeah. Jeremy says he owns the Outer World, but he hasn't opened it yet.
No.
That's even better, Jeremy. If you haven't subscribed to DeMarco Dude, Vault Girl just put up his link there. Please go to his channel and subscribe. Don't go away from the podcast, but do subscribe to his channel. No. We would really much appreciate that.
If you do, I'll find you.
That's right. How much Fallout 76 have you played? Have you played any of it yet?
After Wastelanders came out, that's what brought me back.
All right, good deal.
Now I haven't played since they released the new update with the Fallout Battle Pass. I don't know what else to call it. What would you?
Seasons is what it's called.
Seasons. So I haven't played since they brought in their seasons, but I think that Fallout 76 has now become a game that anyone who was hesitant in the past should, at the very least, give it a try, especially since it's on Xbox Game Pass.
Oh, absolutely, yeah. I of course, I've always thought it was a good, not only a good game, but a good Fallout game. I think it has Of course, you know what my standing is. I'm not going to go through my standing, and they're going to keep adding content, which is such a great thing for the community as well. Just to update our fans here, August the 4th, patch 21 comes out with a new event, Colossal Problem, and this weekend continues to be the double score weekend. So if you want to catch up on that season's that battle pass that DeMarco Dude's calling it, you get double the score. So you get 500 for dailies, 1,000 for weeklies, and yeah, absolutely. So jump on that.
In this weekend,
it goes all the way through. Does it stop Sunday at noon or Monday at noon? I'll have to look, but anyway, it goes through today and then at least tomorrow through noon. So jump on there right after the podcast, and you'll get double doing your dailies. So it's very good. You can catch up a lot. Let's see. Kaiser says, I think people that play the main storyline of Skyrim before doing all the side quests are psychopaths. Amen, Kaiser. I agree with you.
Unless you find all the stones of Baron Zaya first.
I started playing Fallout 76 from the Game Pass when the DLC came out. That's how I found your game's pretty fun. Yeah. I think Fallout 76 is really bringing in a lot of new players right now. It really is. By the way, remember that Quakecon also is coming up August 7th through the 9th. We'll see if Bethesda is going to bring anything new. Pete Hines says there's going to be some surprises coming. DeMarco Dude, do you think there is any new surprises, any new games coming from Bethesda? Of course, they're at the Xbox showcase. Then they're going to be at QuakeCon. Then they're going to be at Gamescom. So they're going to be
Gamescom.
Then they're going to be at 3 things in a row. What are they going to be showing? I mean, what do they have to show?
Starfield.
Yeah, I mean, are they going to be showing? I mean, are they going to show a trailer of Starfield? Or do they have something to show?
So I think that I don't think it's going to be Starfield. I firmly believe that Starfield is 2021, and we won't see it until next year, whether they do E3 or whatever happens with E3 next year. That's when we'll see more of it.
I agree.
I think that Starfield's in an interesting place, right? Because you have a crowd of people who were pissed off that it was announced as early as it is with no follow-up information.
Big monster news, Jeremy says. I agree. No, but we hadn't heard anything about big monster news for 2 years. Yeah, what about big monster news? That's one of the trademarks that Bethesda has. Okay.
That is a question.
Yeah, go ahead, DeMarco did. I'm sorry. Yes, some people do. Of course, we know why they showed it, because of Fallout 76 being multiplayer, and they just wanted to reassure the fans that they were still single player. I understand all that, but go ahead.
Yeah, we get it, but there's the audience beyond us that doesn't
understand
like
it. Yeah.
And if they were to do it again, I think they would find themselves in the same place.
Mm-hmm.
So why put themselves through that stress when they could just wait? And everyone who's excited will still be excited. That's what it comes down to. Now, I do think that there might possibly be something Wolfenstein related. Maybe that's something that's gone silent for a while.
Mm-hmm.
And a few surprises. I mean, we haven't seen anything from ESO yet, so could be ESO related. I don't know. A new mobile game?
Could it be a Starfield mobile game ahead of the Starfield release?
No.
They'll wait for spring to do that.
They would wait. I think it would give too much away. They want, it's their first new IP in how many years. They're going to want it to be just
right before. I agree.
The way it's meant to be experienced.
Yep. Jeremy said it. It's Captain Kane. It's coming. Captain Kane. Jeremy, you're on. It's going to be big monster news and Captain Keen, and we're excited. We're excited. Well, we know they're going to give us more on the TV show, and I am excited about the TV show. I could do every podcast on the TV show and never get tired of it. I would have no viewers, but I would be happy because I'm so excited to watch the Fallout TV show. That is so dadgum exciting to me. So,
where do you think it's going to be set?
I have said that it's going to be set in Washington, D.C. I really believe that. Mm-hmm. But honestly, the more I've talked about it, I hope it's set either in Washington or West Virginia. And the reason I've said that, I wanted it in Washington originally, but the more I've thought about it, I want to see all those cryptids on TV. I want to see the Mothman and the Grafton Monster. I want to see all those things on TV. I think it'd be great. Yes, have you not heard about the Fallout TV show, Kaiser? Yes, it was a trailer. A real brief trailer was put out about a week and a half ago. So we were given a teaser. So at Quakecon, we're going to get more information about this TV show. It is coming to Amazon. It
is an Amazon exclusive.
Yeah. The makers of Westworld, is that the name of the TV show?
Jenkins said, Kaiser, are you living on the moon?
The HBO show, is it Westworld? Is that the name of the show? The director and creator of Westworld, both the man and the woman, I can't remember their name right now, but right off the top of my head, I've got it written down somewhere. They have actually it's already in production. So we don't have any dates yet. Hopefully we'll get some information on that at Quakecon. But they've already been hired on. And again, it's already in production. So that's exciting. Yeah. Louisiana, home of the death call. That'd be great because you're getting close to Arkansas there, Jeremy. Anything close to my home would be great. Bring it down south. I would love to see what's going on down south in Fallout universe. That'd be great.
We haven't gotten a southern one yet.
No, that'd be great. Sit back, drink some sweet tea, play a banjo. Be great. That would be absolutely great. I hate that. I understand why. I hate that QuakeCon is all digital this year. I've gone the last 2 years, and QuakeCon is amazing. I don't know where you're located, DeMarco, but if you ever get the chance to go to QuakeCon, it is amazing. For Bethesda fans, it's bigger than E3. It's amazing. It's wild. It's Bethesda's E3. It really is.
So if they have Bethesda's E3, right, and they did have an event that they canceled, didn't they?
Yes.
So those announcements are probably going to be there. What do you think we're going to see?
Well, and that's what I was asking you. And Pete Hines actually said we have some surprises with an S. Now, that was before the TV trailer. And normally what Bethesda does, they always give us a tease before it happens. So that was definitely one of the surprises. That was a biggie. So if there's anything big, I believe we will get a hint of it before QuakeCon happens. In other words, if there is a Starfield, if there is something like that, we're going to get some kind of hint, like a countdown trailer. You remember the old Fallout 4 countdown trailer from 2015? Oh, yeah. We're going to get something. Bethesda almost never just socks it with us, at QuakeCon. So hopefully they'll give us something a few days ahead, a week ahead or something. But with all that said, do I think anything else huge is coming? See, I'm so hesitant because
we all know what we want to see.
Well, no, I've been so good at predicting things. Through the years, I've been so good, and then I was so wrong with Deathloop. I mean, Deathloop just hit me I said that there was no way Deathloop is going to be released this year, and I was so wrong because I never thought they would release it this year during the pandemic. A brand new IP. I mean, and I still say, and y'all tell me, and I'm sorry, Bethesda. I'm sorry, guys, if y'all are listening at ZeniMax. I don't think Deathloop is going to do good. I think it's going to fail. I do. I think the sales are going to be terrible. I mean, they're releasing a brand new IP that's not a BGS game. It's a Bethesda Softworks game in a year where they cannot advertise. What are they thinking?
Yeah, that's bit every single other non-Bethesda game, hasn't it, in the butt, the marketing.
Yeah.
Like any Bethesda game studios, to be specific. Dishonored 2, I didn't see. I've been following Bethesda forever. I didn't see anything for Dishonored 2.
No.
What else?
But
Evil Within 2, absent.
I was about to say, you look at all of their past. I mean, really, their Wolfenstein. What was their last Wolfenstein game? Of course, it wasn't. It wasn't great. Yeah, Youngblood. It tanked.
Youngblood. They only talked about at the event. They had E3. They mentioned it there. They had tiny snippet of gameplay.
But
then you had a couple TV spots.
But even Wolfenstein 2, which won the first-person shooter of the year, actually didn't sell very well. So I don't know what they're doing marketing-wise, but why in the world would they release one this close to the end of the year and during a pandemic like this? When, I mean, how are they going to advertise a brand new IP? I just don't know. I just wouldn't do it.
Do you think that PlayStation is going to help some of that, since it is a PlayStation launch exclusive?
Yes.
Do you think that PlayStation's going to push it where Bethesda wouldn't?
It will, yes, but the problem is it does not have any name recognition. None. I mean, even hardcore Bethesda fans do not know the name Deathloop. There are people on this podcast that have never heard of Deathloop. Look, there's one right there. I've never heard of Deathloop. Right there in the comments. And we talk about it all the time. I'm telling you, it's not going to sell.
That's hard to hear because I really wanted to. It looks like a very cool concept.
I'm telling y'all, and I talk about it all the time. Y'all go buy it. I hope it sells. But I'm telling you, it's not going to sell. And I hate that. I want Bethesda Softworks games to sell. I'm going to buy it.
I think for sure this exclusivity deal is definitely going to bite them in the butt too, because yes, they do get that initial payout from PlayStation to be a launch title, but games like Deathloop, when they aren't marketed that well, they die off very quick. So you have your initial sales and then it drops.
Yeah.
And I'm afraid that by the time, we don't even know how long the exclusivity deal is yet. They haven't said it.
That's right.
So by the time it is available, people will have moved on to, Cyberpunk. Well, Cyberpunk will be out already.
Yeah, but it'll be an old game by then. Yeah. MC Jenkins says, "Don't get your hopes up about Gamescom. They never announce any big games yet." Yeah, whatever they're going to announce, they're going to announce it at Quakecon. Yeah, Gamescom, it'll already be secondary. It'll be a re-announce. Whatever they're going to announce, it's going to be August 7th through the 9th. It's going to be at Quakecon. I agree. Absolutely. No doubt about it.
QuakeCon's cool because you get a lot of, I feel like every year they always have at least one major surprise. I can't think of a year where they really didn't come with something really, really cool.
Yeah, Vault Girl, it was also Ghostwire Tokyo was the other game.
I'm more worried about Ghostwire Tokyo personally because that one looks a lot more niche.
Well, it's another new IP, but at least it's got a little bit more time to advertise, and maybe the pandemic won't be going on. What I'm worried about is during this pandemic, it's hard to advertise because right now you don't have any sports going on. That's normally when they would advertise commercials or something like that. That's when Bethesda puts their big commercials on, is during sports, on TV anyway. But Bethesda's even got to the point where they don't even hardly put commercials on TV anymore. They do most of it on social media and YouTube, which is strange. They don't even run commercials on TV that often anymore. But when they do, it's on sports, and there's not even that much sports. Baseball has started now, but very, very little. We don't even know if football is going to happen yet. Everybody's kind of up in the air if college football is going to start, if NFL is going to start. So again, these games that are coming out around Christmas time, what kind of advertising are they going to have? I mean, that we're just talking just a few months away for a brand new IP that nobody has ever heard of. That's what's got me worried.
Well, I mean, so let's talk worst case scenario then. If it doesn't do well, what do you think the outcome will be? What do you think will happen with Arcane and future games? Because we obviously had Dishonored 2 that still made a profit but didn't do well. Then they'll have this, which, if it's in the same boat, where does Bethesda go from there?
You're not going to like it. You guys aren't going to like what I'm about to say. ZeniMax has been selling out, and I don't mean a sellout. They have been selling out parts of their company. They are self-owned, which is very rare in the gaming business. But they have been selling out parts of their company. And what they are going to be doing, and what they have done, because their last few games have not been selling good, they've been selling out and getting loans. And to guarantee those loans, they've been having to do more and more things that guarantee money to come back. And that's why you're seeing more microtransactions, more multiplayer, more things that they know will bring money in, because they have to get that money back that they borrowed to pay back to those people that they've lent money to. Does that make sense?
With interest.
Yes, with interest. But if they continue to be making these loans, I mean, I'm not saying ZeniMax is in trouble, but when you keep having problems with games, I mean, BGS is making money, okay? Hand over fist. Mm-hmm. But it's the only one that's making money. You look at all the other ones, and they're just falling flat right now.
Yeah, for sure.
What's the last Bethesda Softworks game? Well, Doom did well.
Yeah,
Doom Eternal.
That's a good point.
Yeah, Doom Eternal did great. Yep, y'all said id Software. Yay, y'all were on it before I did. Probably, I would say that ESO is probably doing really good.
ESO is doing very, very well.
Yeah,
that's something I actually just started getting more into, and it's doing superb.
But as much as I love the Wolfenstein series, as much as I love the Dishonored series, as much as I loved Prey, I love Prey. It did terrible financially, terribly.
Prey was such a good game too.
I begged everybody to go buy Prey. It did Youngblood did terrible. Youngblood did terrible.
Youngblood did bad for different reasons, though.
Yeah, it was a strange game.
Yeah, it wasn't a game for Wolfenstein fans. It wasn't really a game for first person shoot. I don't know what Youngblood.
It was a different kind of game totally.
Yeah.
There was
Rage 2.
There was
Another
parts
Rage
of it I liked, but no, it was different. Rage 2.
That game came and went.
Well, I'll tell you, Rage 2. I'm just going to be honest. Rage 2 felt like an unfinished game to me.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm just being really honest with you guys. I loved Rage 2 when I started playing it. I absolutely loved it. It was great. But it really felt unfinished. It was short. I mean, short.
Mm-hmm.
And it just felt unfinished. And it was kind of funny that the head of id Software that was over that game left right after that.
Yeah, I completely forgot about that, actually.
Yep. I mean, that was his baby. Rage 2 was his baby. And I mean, he left right after that. So,
at the very least, I think a lot of this is causing a lot of disdain indirectly for Bethesda. And as we get closer and closer to Starfield, Lynn says, love Prey. I love Prey so much. But as we get closer,
if y'all haven't played Prey, and I didn't mean to interrupt you, if y'all have not played Prey, go get it. You will absolutely love it, especially if you like to be a little tense, or if you've liked BioShock, you'll love it. Just get Prey.
I will get Prey for one person who's never played it before.
Get it.
I will genuinely buy Prey for somebody who's never played it before.
Yep.
Because everyone needs to experience this.
Yep.
But
it's great.
As you get closer and closer to Starfield's release, people will start to, everyone who's yelling at Bethesda is going to be coming around. Everybody who's excited, and I think it's a good opportunity for Bethesda to capitalize on their other. Of course, they'll be out by now, but there'll be a good opportunity to capitalize and say, hey, we are Bethesda Game Studios, but look at all the other Bethesda titles, and they'll use that name.
Yeah.
But Bethesda Game Studios, which, as we've said, is their big moneymaker, they've been silent. And, Todd Howard's working hard, and Pete Hines is working hard. Well, Pete Hines is Softworks. But Todd Howard's working hard, and the Maryland team is working hard, and that silence comes at a cost. Nothing, there's no such thing as a free meal.
Yep. Absolutely. Well, guys,
we'll get Avowed.
Guys, I want you to subscribe to DeMarco Dude. Do y'all see how much game knowledge he has? It has been such a pleasure talking to him. We have 3 minutes left in this podcast. So if you guys, can you believe it's already over, DeMarco Dude? So if you guys have a question for DeMarco Dude, I want y'all to ask it right now, please. He has been such a pleasure to talk to today. Y'all go subscribe to his channel and ask him whatever you'd like to ask him right now. Again, what do you have going on your channel right now, DeMarco Dude?
So at the moment, I am going to be digging for everything I can on Avowed. But I never like to put content the big thing about me is I will never put content where I feel like I'm wasting your time. If I put out a video, it's because I think it's genuinely worth anybody who's watching it. I have so many things in my backlog that are just unreleased and I'll never release because they weren't amounting to anything. But Elder Scrolls, I'm going really big with Elder Scrolls 6. I'll be taking a look at Starfield as we get more stuff. I have my Starfield wishlist series, which is on pause. But if anybody is interested in that game and wants to put down whatever thoughts they have, you can find the most recent one. And if that sort of has a resurgence, I can't wait to get back into that series. Yeah, I've been branching out to some other discussions. So if you like general gaming industry stuff, Microsoft, PlayStation, Ubisoft, James likes Starfield, check it out.
Absolutely. Well, thank you. Well, I need to mention before we go, where is it? Oh, there it is. Did y'all see? This is one of my new shirts.
Woo!
Isn't that cool? KingFanMan.
Looking good.
That's just one of them.
I love the new logo.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. Yeah, that's my new logo. You can find my store. I actually put it down in the description The link is down there. You can go to my store and
got face masks. Everybody needs a face mask.
I was about to say face masks are mandatory now, so I hate to wear them. It's awful. I hate it, but if you have to, you might as well wear a KingFanMan one. There you go. So go get you a KingFanMan face mask. So thank you, Kaiser. Thank you. Well, DeMarco, do you have anything else to say to me or the fans today?
I just want to say, everybody that is watching, King is one of the best YouTubers on the platform. Genuinely, every time I tell everybody how my first interaction with him, I was basically a nobody, and he was just like, "Hey, yeah, let's do this. Like, let's do this. Let's cooperate." And I can't think of the term. But
collaborate.
So thank you. Yeah, exactly.
That worked.
So King is great. Thank you, King, for having me on. All you guys are just one of the best audiences that we have on YouTube. So yeah.
Well,
there you go. Thank you, King, and thank you guys for watching.
You are a pleasure to talk to. You do an absolutely great job, and I hope to have you back again.
Please, yes.
You are welcome at the KingCast anytime. Well, thank y'all for watching today. Y'all have a great weekend. Remember, double score weekend, so y'all go play Fallout 76. Have a very safe and happy weekend. Bye, everybody.
Bye.